just in case that I will be using Malay words. If not, I think I will try to communicate using English. Anyone? Okay. Anyone of you who can't really understand Malay? Right. So few of you, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. Again, thank you very much to Hebat Development Center for giving me the opportunity to share my thought on design thinking for innovative problem solving. My name is Sofri Yahya from Graduate School of Business. Briefly about myself, something that I would like to highlight is basically I was given the opportunity by University of Science Malaysia to be in the one of the subsidiary of public listed company for more than 2 years. Thank you very much, USM, for allowing me to be part of a public listed company, which I think I learned a lot. It tells me a lot, especially with regard to the reality when we are talking about the graduate that we want to produce, or the talents that we need to build. So I was with the DRB HiCom group. For those who know about this company, it's a conglomerate. It's big. It's a really big public listed company, employ more than 60,000 employees. And I have the opportunity to interact with many of the employees, and from there I can tell what are the things that they are basically lack of, which give me some idea on how to improve the future the future talents that university are basically producing. So I would say that you are fortunate enough to be in this particular team because my style is always, I will not share something which is not interesting. I will share something that that I think, that I believe would relevant to you, and there are lots of things that you can bring home. Yeah. Okay. I would like to start with this, a reality check. Just to make a comparison between what you know and what is the reality. And I will also call it as a moment of truth, so that you are basically aware what is happening outside the world. Yeah. Can you take out your smartphone and scan this? Yeah. I think most of you are familiar with the Padlet. For those who are not yet, perhaps once you scan, and you will got you will be receiving it like this. Okay. Yeah. And enter your opinion. Just click the plus button down there and give your opinion. Whether you want to mention on your name or not is up to you. Perhaps just some. I just want to know your level of awareness. What is basically happening outside the university? What are the expectation from the market, from the job? on the job market. Just mention what are the key competency in terms of knowledge and functional skill required in the first 21st century. Because whether you like it or not, we are in the 21st century, and just a matter of time, you will be graduating and you'll be part of that talent. Based on research, those who really aware what are the expectations of the job market, they are even more prepared for the job. Yeah? So I will give about 2 minutes, yeah, for you to share your thoughts. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, problem solving, creative thinking, digital marketing. Yeah. So yeah, I think yeah, time management, good. Critical thinking, time. Yeah. Yeah, good. Thank you very much for all the sharing. Yeah. Yeah. So these are the even if you Google, you will find these are among the key competencies expected or even required by the job market now. Yeah, thank you very much for the sharing. But if you and again, if you Google, you will also get this almost similar finding. Consistently, yeah, since last decade, complex problem solving is always a key skill required by the job market, and even in this year, even employers are still looking for that skills. And even if you look at the years 2020, employers are looking for someone with the complex problem solving. Not only problem solving, but the world is getting more complex. Yeah, the world is getting more complex, and the problem also getting more complex. So we need someone who are able to untangle or resolve much more complex problems. And also, employers expect you to have more critical thinking, creativity. So these are, even if you look at the 1 to 3, number one and 3, you will find something around the element of decision making. So at the end of the day, this is what you are expected for. Even the salary that you will be getting must match on the task or the assignment that you are basically given, are expected you to deal with these skills. I think all assignment, all assignment given by your superior, would expect some sort like all these skill for you to apply. Yeah, so this more detail about what does it mean by complex problem solving, because somehow or other, if you work, you will definitely deal with product development, service development, processes, system, and all these have issues, especially if you are dealing with human. If dealing with human, there are a lot. You have to be prepared with solving a problem with relate to human, which is normally complex in nature. And as a human, we expect to be critical and also creativity. So these are among the skills that are required by your employee. But I don't want to scare you off. But again and again, you will find this quote. Yeah. Your expectation, the expectation of the employer are even much bigger, when they expect you to deal with the problem that had not yet existed. So in that sense, just imagine what type of skill that you need to have, when you are expected to solve problem which is not yet exist. Yeah. So another one, just continue with the one that you have just shared. Yeah. Based on your experience, and I know some of you are in your first, second year, or third year. But based on what you have learned from the courses that you have taken, can you share your thought with regard to the gaps? Do you think that the skill embed in those courses are really preparing you for the job or for the skill required by the market? Yeah. So perhaps you can share your thoughts. The expectation gap here, for example, the different the different that you get from your courses with the one that expected by the market. Yeah. Again, there is not right and wrong answer. You may have your own experience. You may have your own. You may come from different school. You may come from a different program where the focus might be different. Yeah. Okay, just continue on the same padlet. Yeah, just continue. What is your thought? Do you think that what you learn, what you learned so far, is basically fulfilling the gap expected from the by the industry? Yeah. Okay. You share your thought again. Share your thought on the expectation gap between the market required skill and the education learning outcome. Okay. All right. So we are in the new question. Yeah. Perhaps if you can answer. If you can, 60% of the critical thinking, and of course, okay, not sure, it's about theory, some critical thinking, problem skill, right? It's more about theory, and not adequate. Yeah, this is also another reality that we also need to observe without any comparison with any lecturers or any schools. This is the gap that everybody should be responsible with. Yeah. Even you as a learners, because I call you learners, not students. That is my own principles. I would more interested to call you learners rather than students, because learners learn, where students study. So I foresee there is very much difference between learning and studying. Yeah. So there's a lot of room that we have to improve, but not blaming anyone. But at the end of the day, it is when it comes to learning, it's our own responsibility. Yeah, you are lucky enough, if we have someone who can guide you closely, or who can give you, who can share with you, what are the current expectations from the job market. but some may not get that opportunity. So to me, there is, I mean, maybe you can take this another opportunity, for you to close the gap. But at the end of the day, there is all about this method of design thinking. So this design thinking purpose is basically to create that awareness so that you can play your role to fill the gap, between what you learn in the classroom and what is expected from the industry. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you are basically facing these challenges, and I would not call that as issues or problem, but I would call it as a motivation. I would expect you to take this as a challenge and motivate you to change and change and have a different paradigm when come to learning. Yeah, because unfortunately, by the time that you graduate, you will see that high percentage of unemployment is with the issue of pandemic. It will make things worse, but it's something that that's the reality that you have to encounter with. And the challenge is that, you will find that most of my interview with the graduate, most of the things that they mention, that there always a mismatch between what they learn and the job scope. Yeah. And also even you are losing out, and many of the graduates are losing out because of this mismatch. And also, most of the graduates that I interview, they also have this, this concern, where they found that lack of direction in terms of what they study. They are not basically sure, why they are studying in certain courses, for example. What are the direction expected from them once they have that such knowledge. And of course, many of them are basically uncertain about their futures. So these are the challenges that students or the graduates are basically facing. Something that if you are aware of that, good. Okay, just make yourself prepared. For those who are not aware, buckle up. I call it buckle up. Be prepared. Face the reality. This is the reality that you will be facing, and be prepared. Be prepared and improve and start improving yourself. So that you can always close the gap. Yeah. So with that scenario, that I hope you learners will get out of this session. Okay, so this design thinking, for those who are new to this method, normally I need at least 2 days, to cover the entire process. But 2 days face to face. So I would take this another challenge to share with you, this design thinking method online, all right, and with the given time of 2 hours. So with that challenges, I would expect that still learning can happen, because when it comes to learning, it's go back on the learners. Because that's one of the responsibility of being an educator and lecturers is to motivate learners to learn. Yeah, to motivate learners to learn. Because learning is not really happening here. Learning happen almost everywhere. So my task today is basically to create an awareness to all of you, and also to create some level of appreciation, for all of you about this topic, so that you can, you can use this as as a stepping stone or as a launching pad, for you to enhance the method further. Because just like myself, when I was introduced this method, it took me some time to really have the confidence to apply and even have the confidence to share even with the industry. Yeah. All right. So so again, the learning outcome of this two hours training is basically to create an appreciation on you, the key fundamental of design thinking. Because design thinking is a method, to solve problem. Yeah. So when talking about the problem, it can be used to solve almost any problem, either from product development, service development, strategy, even to develop yourself. So that is the power of design thinking. So I will share with you what are the fundamentals and principles about design thinking, so that it can be an impetus. For you to enhance your knowledge further. Even if you Google the word design thinking, for example, it can really hit millions of hits. Yeah, it can be, because it just shows how relevant, how popular, how significant this method is, basically with regard to the human and also to the business. Yeah. And I also share with you some basic steps in order for you to apply this design thinking to solve problems. Yeah. Because if you have, if you are willing to learn more, you will find that this design thinking method is very popular to solve complex issue, or we call it wicked issues or complex problems. Yeah. And again, and at the end of the day, this is what expected from the industry, right? Because you are expected to solve a complex problem, right? Okay. So why you are expected to have that skill of problem solving? Because at the end of the day, company need to innovate. Yeah, company need to innovate. So any company that not innovating, they are just waiting for their time to be, to be competed out, to even to die, yeah, or to be non-exist. So any company who is want to sustain and to want to grow, they have to innovate. That is not a choice. So every company needs to innovate. Yeah. So how to innovate? So when we're talking about innovate, it's talking about change. When we are talking about change, it's talking about solving a problem differently. Yeah. So if you have the skill to solve problems and come up with the innovative solution, you are doing innovation. You are innovating. Yeah. So that is the reason why company needs someone who can think. Company needs someone who are creative, because these are the people that can help the company to innovate, right? So again, innovation is not a choice. Company need to have that, and company need the right people to help them to innovate, right? Okay, even though I give some point already, perhaps maybe you can also share your thoughts, provide the reason for why you think that business need to innovate. Maybe you have a much better idea, why, yeah? Why company, either business or even organization need to innovate. Yeah, to compete with others, of course, of course. I mean, if you are in business, you are in the world of competition, and you can compete better. You can compete better if you have something new to offer. So, that's why company always need to innovate. Yeah, yeah, to expand market. Um, uh, right? Yeah, to fulfill the changes in the demand. Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, our taste. Yeah, the human or the consumer taste change every minute, every second. Yeah. So as a business, you always need to fulfill the expectation of the consumer, and you need to change the way that you provide your services or your product, and you need to innovate. All these things need innovation. Yeah. Right. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Right. So that's why we have. Yeah. We don't. Unfortunately we don't have that much option. Yeah. We have to innovate. Right. So these are among the reasons why why you have to innovate. Yeah. I think some of the points you have highlighted. Yeah. Again, we are in a very competitive environment, um, and customer demand expectation change every second. You know, people get bored easily. So they need new things, and even to hold a market share, it's quite difficult. So these are the things. I mean, costs keep on rising, and you need to do a different way if you want to reduce costs. You need to find a new way of selling, in order for you to increase revenue. So these are the things that that you need to be aware of. So that's why you need to have the skill of innovation. Yeah. At the end of the day, we can't call. I mean, hardly we can call a leader. If they lack innovation skills. Yeah, and to stay relevant, not only the industry, not only the company, but we ourselves, we as a human, if you want to stay relevant, we need to have the skill of innovation. Yeah. And at the end of the day, innovation is not really a task. It's not really a work. It's not really an assignment. Yeah. So that's why you will find that design thinking is beyond method. It's beyond technique and tools. Once you dive deep into this method, you will find that design thinking is a paradigm, it's a mindset, it's the way that you think. It's the way that you think. So once it's already part of your thinking process, that will become your lifestyle. Innovation is not something that you do it when your boss force you to do it. Once you have that skill, you really enjoy to take up any assignment, you really enjoy, you are looking forward to problem to solve. Yeah. So where in reality now, okay, in reality, people people try to avoid, try to avoid assignment, try to avoid tasks, because they are expected to solve problems. And the reason why they try to avoid that, because they don't have the right skill. Okay, understand? Okay, they don't have the right skill. So if you are equipped, if you are equipped with the right skill, with the with the skill that required, believe me that just like myself, for example, I don't want to boost up my skill, but I basically welcome problems. I basically welcome problems, welcome even complex problems, because I have the skill what it takes, what it needs to solve that. Yeah. So again, why do you think that company are not? I mean, even though we know this, all companies are basically aware of importance of innovation. But if you see around, okay, if you see around, there are not much innovation happening, right? You will see almost the same things, the same way of services, the same product, with maybe maybe a small improvement. You don't really see a major innovation around us. Perhaps maybe you can share your thought. Why that happened. Why companies are not able to innovate, or why the employees, why the people, why the workers are not able to innovate as what expected from them. Okay, yeah, budget, yeah, creativity, yeah, it's too risky to innovate, yeah, all right, yeah, people are so used to norm, yeah. I mean, the last thing people want to do is change. Yeah, we are so comfortable with the way that we are doing things. We call it the complacency. We are so complacent with the way that we're doing things. So, why we need to change, right? So these are the mindset. This is the mentality that basically hinder. Yeah, lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge, risky, and lack of creativity skills. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for your sharing. So this among the reason. Yeah, this among the reason that so that's why we have to change. So if you want to be relevant, if you want to be we call it job-driven attitude, you need to have a different mindset. You need to have a different way of thinking, right? And again, why not innovate? Yeah, why not innovate? Why do you think that people are not able to innovate? I mean, yeah, just like some of you mentioned that lack of knowledge and lack of creativity. Yeah, based on my research, based on my reading, based on my observation, I can see that innovation does not really happen because lack of knowledge in terms of innovation. Yeah, they might at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, I think I don't know in your at your respective school, is there any course? Is there any course that teach you on how to innovate practically, hands-on, hands-on, until you are confident enough to innovate? I don't know about now. Yeah, I don't know about your school. You can speak better. You know better about your school. You know better about your program. But based on my observation, most of the graduates, they leave the university without a without a competence, without a strong knowledge, especially the hands-on experience on how to innovate. You know, because you need to learn on how to innovate. Innovation or innovate, I mean, in order for you to innovate, you need to learn the process. Yeah. So, but unfortunately, okay, it needs the environment. It requires the conducive, the proper environment for you to learn on how to innovate. Unfortunately, you can't really learn innovation in this setting. Yeah. So one of the reasons why innovation is basically lacking, because again the way that we learn, even our classroom, yeah, our lecture theater design is basically not the environment that conducive enough for us to innovate. I have the opportunity to be in this environment. It's in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Yeah, I was there. And also I also part of the workshop. Yeah, and using this facility. Yeah, can you see the difference between this environment and also the one like this? Okay, which one do you think that can really encourage innovation? Yeah. So that also something that we have to really observe. Yeah. So can creativity be taught? Of course, yes, with the right environment, with the right approach. Yeah. Yes, but not sitting in the lecture. Okay. So that's why by sitting here, I'm sitting here, and you sitting at the comfort of your home, it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult, for me to teach on how to innovate. All right, it require the where it require the cognitive skill and heuristic, yeah, using the realistic exercises, yeah, with the appropriate domain of hand. So you have to use all the hand and also mind and thinking, and you have to apply all the knowledge that you have. That is the environment that we need. Yeah. So just want to confirm with you, okay? Because this mindset is very important. Okay, do you think that we can learn to innovate, or you are still in a thinking that creativity and innovative is something that gifted, people are born with, So which paradigm are you comfortable with, Do you think that we can learn to innovate is true or not? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yes, of course. Yeah. Of course, because true. Yeah. Because of course we need time. We need effort. That's something that we need. Yeah. But the fundamental is that we need to realize that innovativeness or creativity can be learned. It's not a gifted. All right. It's not a gifted. It's not something that you are born with. All right. So to me, if you have that mindset, that to me is the fundamental of innovation. Right? So at the end of the day, how to innovate? Yeah. So if you go through the internet, if you go to the internet, you will find all this. You will find a different school of thought, a different researcher, a different professors. they will give their thought, their thought, what is, what is their innovation process that they think right, yeah. But yeah, that is happened to me at the early stage, when because I used to because I'm at the graduate school of business, so so I teach MBA or the future leaders. So I reckon that as a managers, as a leader, as a business leader, as a managing director, or managing director or CEO, they need to innovate. They need to learn the skill of innovation. But unfortunately, when I look at the syllabus, there is no such content that cover the element. So that motivate me to learn. So I went to Singapore, I went to US, I went to Europe, just to study, on how to innovate. Yeah. So that's why I got confused when I Google in the internet and so on. In terms of method, you will find a different method. Different method have been proposed, but at the end of the day, it's quite difficult to follow until I found this. Yeah, until I found this method. What we call a design thinking method. So just to introduce, before I introduce you to that method, yeah, perhaps if you can get yourself a piece of paper, yeah, piece of paper. It doesn't matter big or small, either used or clean. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I just need to have you. Get a piece of paper, right? A piece of paper. It can be again anything, piece of paper. So, and then use that paper to design a wallet or purse which have a commercial value. All right? In 1 minute, design. Okay, design means what? You can just fold this over, to make a wallet, or you can just draw, you can just draw on that paper, anything, as long as you can, as long as I can see that you just design a wallet or a purse. Yeah, a wallet or a purse. In 1 minute. Perhaps if you can snap, yeah, if you can snap your design and share that on the Padlet, that would be good. Yeah, snap that design and share that on the Padlet, that would be good. It won't take that long. Just 1 minute is more than enough. Because yeah, just snap, take a photo and then snap, share on the Padlet. Okay. Okay, design one. Okay, design a wallet. Design your own wallet. Yeah, even e-wallet, but I'm talking about more on the physical wallet. Yeah. All right. Okay. While waiting for someone to share your design of wallet, okay, perhaps some thought, from this exercise is basically based on the wallet or purse that you design. Can you share with me the percentage of being accepted by the customer? Yeah. How much confidence that you have the wallet that you design can fulfill the need or demand of the customer. Right? So do you think that, okay, that is first scenario. Another scenario is that if you are given a chance, all right, thank you for those who are sharing, all right, thank you, all right. So, okay, this is one of the scenario. Okay, this scenario in the process of designing wallet, yeah, scenario 1 and scenario 2. All right, yeah, 70%. So how to make it sure that's 100% accepted, right? Okay, now, because you are in the scenario 1, yeah? So in that scenario 1, you believe that 70% accepted, right? Okay. How about in scenario 2? In scenario 2 is where you have the opportunity to co-design or co-develop. Remember the word co, yeah? You work together. You design together with the potential customer. All right? In that scenario 2, yeah? In scenario 2, again, in scenario 2, you co-design, you co-develop that purse or wallet together with your customer. Okay? So in that scenario 2, do you think the level of acceptance is much higher? Yeah? Do you think that the level of acceptance is much higher? Right? I believe it is. Right? I believe, which I think you also definitely believe. Yeah? Yes. Yeah? Why not 85%? Why not 100%? Yeah? All right? So most likely, that is something that, that's something that we want to, that's something that I want you to think about, and try to relate this with the innovation process. Most innovation process is not successful because we are still in the scenario 1, right? We are still in the scenario 1. We hardly change our mindset, our paradigm to go to scenario 2, right? We hardly, because that is our norm. We are so used to. Yeah, we are so used to, work by yourself and, don't be bothered by the others and so on. So with that attitude and mindset, so that's why not much changes that we can make on the output that we produce. All right. So it's better for us to be in the second scenario, right? It's better for us to be in the second. So that's all the design thinking all about. Design thinking is when we develop, yeah? Because yeah, due to the constraint of time, I mean, for those who want to try this, yeah, explain how. I mean, yeah, I mean, I already give you the answer. For example, what hinder someone from innovation in most circumstances is our attitude. Yeah, our attitude, toward the yeah, our attitude toward innovation. Yeah, because firstly is that we are very much, we call it self-focus. Self-focus is based on what we know, we develop, and we thought that the customer will love it. All right. But if you can change that mindset, that paradigm into a second scenario, okay, get the input from the customer, develop that together, and that will definitely can help can help our product, the product that we produce better, and that will also help on our innovation. So that is the strength of design thinking. That is the strength, that's basically the advantages or the strength of design thinking. Design thinking is where we are following these very systematic steps. We start with the empathize, and then after empathize, we define, we ideate, we do a prototype, and we test. All right? So empathize, all right? And I would just want to convince you further that just imagine. But maybe most of you, yeah, maybe most of you are using a laptop now. I mean, your laptop, I mean, mouse may not be that necessary for you, right? But just imagine if you are working on desktop without a mouse. Can you just imagine that? All right. So that is the power of design thinking under the concept of empathize. So empathize means that we put ourselves in the shoes of the user, and we think of the difficulty that the user have, okay? And we develop a product that can fulfill the need of the user. So Apple, for example, when they introduced the Macintosh, maybe you are too young to, maybe you didn't, when you were not born, when first Macintosh was introduced in the market in the early 80s, yeah. So Apple was the one that introduced the desktop with the mouse. And I mean, I was in I think in the first year or second year, in my study, and I can feel the difference. I can feel the difference before the mouse and after the mouse. So how the mouse helped me a lot, okay, when we're dealing with the desktop. So that is where the design thinking start to flourish, yeah, start to grow, because they see the potential, because again, the design thinking is basically to empathize, yeah, to put ourselves in the shoes of the customer and understand their pain, and we develop the product based on the pain. Just like the wallet or the purse that you developed just now, okay? The wallet that will become accepted by the customer is a wallet that can fulfill the wants and the need of the customer, right? Because if you are just producing wallet or purse, which is quite common, I think it's quite difficult for you to fulfill the need of the customer, right? But I think if you are able to understand what are the pain, what are the difficulties suffered by the current or the future user of the wallet, you will definitely come up with a better or different wallet. Yeah, because so that's why if you work together with the customer will expect, I wish that, this wallet will have that, this wallet will have that, this, that, and that. Same goes to the purse, for example. If you get the input from from the customer, and she would say that, I like the purse to have this or the facility with this and so on. So it will definitely can fulfill the need, and that will be a selling point. Yeah, right. So again, yeah, maybe you're still too young also to remember when iPhone was developed. Okay, iPhone 1 was developed. Again, research have shown that Steve Jobs using a design thinking method to come up with the revolutionary, iPhone, right? Where everybody wish to have. This is the photo of people are basically crushing, yeah? Crushing to buy what? Not to buy a ticket for football, but they are crushing to buy iPhone. This is the demand that, that iPhone able to develop when they develop their product based on the need or based on the wants of the customer, right? So just can you go through this slide, yeah? How iPhone has transformed the entire smartphone, yeah? So iPhone 1 was introduced more than 10 years ago, 2007, and how much that he has transformed. And Steve Jobs managed to develop that iPhone using the method of design thinking. He understood the pain suffered, the difficulty suffered by the smartphone user before that. They say that, the keypad is too small, especially for those who have a big hand, big finger. Even the screen is too small. It's quite difficult to watch movie or to, even to browse. And, it's not that attractive, and so on and so forth. So Steve Jobs understood the difficulty or the pain suffered by the user. Yeah. So with that understanding, we call it empathetic. Yeah. Steve Jobs empathetic or empathize with the feeling or the pain suffered by the user. Okay. He managed to develop phone that we call this to change the smartphone forever. That is the power of design thinking. So that's why design thinking is getting more popular, and maybe not in Malaysia as yet, but when I was in US, when I was in Europe, design thinking was basically applied in almost every company in the world, right? So just imagine that, if you have the opportunity to learn about this method, and and you join and you graduate and join any of the organization, I think they will I think you will become relevant, because definitely that your skill is basically needed by your industry. Even you don't have to even you don't have to wait until you graduate. Even you can apply this immediately. You can use this to solve the daily problem that you have. You can solve this with any assignment that given to you by your lecturers. And you can even use this method to develop new business. So that is the power of design thinking. So based on my research, more and more companies, especially in the West, they are using this. And the company who use design thinking, they perform the rest of the company, index with a minimum more than 200%. Okay? Do you think that any company don't like this? You know, do you know that any companies, are not into this, achieving a growth of more than 200%? So just imagine, yeah. So that's why more and more universities are teaching their students on design thinking. Harvard, Stanford, I have the opportunity to be in Stanford. Okay, I can see the environments. I can see, how the students, how this design thinking help the students, to develop product, to develop services, even to develop companies before they are graduate, right? So that's why, if you look at the list of universities that produce unicorn, for those who are not, for those who are new to this unicorn, a unicorn is basically company who are able to produce 1 billion sales. So if any of the company manage to produce 1 billion sales, they call it
Okey, Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera semua. Mohon maaf ada technical sedikit daripada pengacara. So, kita tunggu sebentar, Prof. Sofri mungkin masuk semula. Boleh tunggu sebentar ya. Okey, semua memang tak apalah. Ya, sama dengan saya di sini. So, ada connection problem tadi, the speaker, the connection maybe. So, kita tunggu sebentar untuk Prof. Sofri masuk semula. Okey, terima kasih. Okey, kepada para peserta e-training, kita berehat sebentar, maybe dalam 5 minit. Sementara kita menunggu pengguna kita untuk masuk semula. Boleh semua? Kalau boleh dan masih lagi di situ, jangan pergi ke mana-mana lagi. Kita akan sambung sekejap sahaja lagi. Memang ada, saya dah contact dahulu ni Prof. Ada connection sikit lah, technical. Biasalah. Okey, kita mohon berehat sebentar ya. Okey, terima kasih semua. Okay, Assalamualaikum Prof. Welcome back. Okay, Prof.
Okay, dengar kan? Dengar?
Ya, Prof. Boleh dengar jelas. Cuma mute, Prof.
Okay, alright. Alright, okay, learners, sorry for the hiccup. Alright. Okay, so again, so this is the impact of design thinking on that particular. So again, the essence of design thinking again is human-centered. All right. So I go back to that comment. Of course, 70% of if co-design. What we are talking about here is that it's highly likely that we can fulfill majority of the customer based on our targeted group, targeted customer. Because again, at the end of the day, we are not attempting, we don't attempt to fulfill all people. It's quite difficult, but we are fulfilling the certain segment of a people. Let's say that you want to develop that wallet, for a certain segment of market, for example. You are looking for the executive with a certain amount of income and so on and so forth. So you are targeting on them. All right. So if they are your target, so and you design specifically from what they need, most likely that they are interested to purchase that. Okay. So when I'm talking about design thinking, normally we just look at on the surface, whatever the customer need, okay, we just fulfill them. To me, that is a basic level of design thinking. It's good enough, and at your level, it's good enough to start with. Just develop or design a service or a product based on the demand, based on the need of the customer. But to me, you will get the most with regard to design thinking if you go deeper into the being more empathetic. Being empathetic means that you really understand the need of the customer by knowing their action. I mean, just like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs managed to understand the pain that we suffered. Even though they may not ask the customer, but they just observe. When they observe, they develop, they call it this intuition. Manage to read between the line, the abstract, the inside feeling, so by behavior, by the experiential. So these are the elements that we use. If we use all these elements, most likely that we can fulfill the need of the customer. All right. So again, perhaps maybe you can answer this later on. What is your thought about design thinking? Because I have quite a number of slides to cover. Right. So by the end of the day, the first fundamental in design thinking is that always a customer-centered, not self-focused. So that's what we call this. Say this out loud. The user is not like me. So even how good you are at designing wallet, okay, how talented you are in terms of your design knowledge, but if you fail to put the user as a centered, to me, it's highly likely that you are not able to fulfill the need of your customer. So the first thing first is that you always have this: the user is not like me. So that's why we have to make research. We have to study what are really the needs of the customer. All right. Even your own friend, you might not you might not know what they are really interested in until you make a proper research on their preference. Yeah. Okay. The user is not like me. That is the first principle. So that is the empathize stage. Yeah. Empathize means that you put yourself in the shoes of your customer. So one way, okay, one way to empathize is basically you put yourself in the shoes of your customer, what they wish to have, what they want. Yeah. Try to understand their feeling, their thought. Okay. Based on that, you develop the product or the solution. So engage with them. Remember, believe me that based on my experience, if you engage with people, it reveals a lot in terms of the way they think, the value that they hold, and also, from there, you can capture their thought and values. Yeah? Because people purchase based on the thought and their values. Because they purchase that wallet, they purchase something there, or they engage with certain service. As long, if that really fulfill what they think and the value that they hold. So that means a deep engagement. Believe me that if you go even a deep engagement, you will be surprised at how much you can understand the customer. Yeah. So that's why again, use the same example. Yeah. More than 10 years ago, 15 years ago, okay, Steve Jobs think differently. Just not like the Nokia and also Motorola, for example, where Nokia and Motorola still with their own mindset. The old mindset where they have been there in the market for so long. They understand their customer. Okay, they don't need to engage with the customer. They don't need to get the input from the customer. And that's what happened to Nokia. What happened to Motorola? All right. So Apple, for example, even though Apple was the first phone that they produced, but they use a different method. They use the right method. They understand. They engage the people and see how much. What type of phone that they managed to develop. Yeah. So again, another side of empathize is basically you respond to the unspeakable. Not all things that they reveal, they say it out. But sometimes you can gauge, you can understand what they want just by look at how they behave. And even from there, you can capture, you can even get more. More indicator. More ideas on how to produce a winning product. Yeah. So at the end of the day, what is empathize? It's basically the ability to internalize, to embrace, to understand. Yeah. The condition, the thought, understanding, and feeling. Okay. Of the customer and try to fulfill those. Okay. Just to put you on test, for example. So if you expose yourself, for example, you're looking at this. These are a group of people, yeah? Either they are waiting for bus, for coach, for train, yeah? But if we put ourselves in their shoes, for example, what are their feelings? What are the pain that they suffer, yeah? So definitely that I think you can agree with me that definitely that they have, they are boring. They like to kill their time. They would do something beneficial, for example. They will do something, and maybe this among the solution that you can think of. Yeah, maybe that station need a proper cafe, for them to for them to kill their time or to use their time while waiting for their coaches or for their train, right? Same goes here. Yeah. If you can empathize to the feeling of these people, unnecessary waiting, queuing long queue, it's not that bad, maybe, maybe you will find even longer queue, yeah. And so if you apply the design thinking mindset and method, you can take advantage of the situation, yeah. So that is where, all right. So perhaps if you can, share, briefly, for example, what are the pain that this customer are basically facing or having? What are the pain that they have? What are the difficulty that they have? Put yourself, let's say that you are one of them, okay? You are waiting there. Yeah. Okay. So definitely that you will see that, boring, unnecessary queuing up, unnecessary waiting, they want to expedite you, they want to fasten the process and so on and so forth, right? So again, so how as a business minded individuals or someone, who are given the opportunity to solve the problem, this is what happened. Yeah. Tony Fernandez, okay, Tony Fernandez was, again, managed to capture that scene, that behavior, and turn that into a huge business, yeah, of this Asia, where, it most likely that you don't have to queue up, you can check in online, you can do everything online. So this is what I mean by empathetic. Yeah, put yourself in the shoes of the customer, okay, and you come up with a solution, and your solution will be very much different, as compared to the others, because as a design thinker, you perceive things differently. If you're trained as a design thinker, you perceive things differently. If someone, for example, is coming from a different airline, for example, maybe they don't see that as an opportunity, so they just continue with the way they're doing things. But you are different, and so that's where you can leverage that. Right? Same goes to this, for example. I hope you are not one of them. But these are among the worried, among the concern, worried, faced by our graduate. They are not really sure. Yeah, they have the screw in their hand, but they are not really, but they're sure. They have done all what it takes, for them to complete their degree. But they are basically worried. What is basically happened to them? Are job waiting for them, and so on and so forth. So you put yourself in their shoes, for example. Okay, if you put yourself in their shoes, what are the pain that they are suffered? And in that, based on the pain that they suffered, how you can turn that pain into opportunity, and also ultimately maybe become a business. Can you share with me? What are the pain that this graduate feel? Anyone? The pain, difficulty, the feeling, just like the example of before this, For example, unnecessary waiting and so on and so forth. How about this? What are the pain that they basically suffered? What are the pain that he suffered? Yeah, difficult in getting job, Yeah, whether or not they are qualified for the job. Yeah, so these are the pain. Yeah. Okay, more please. Yeah. I think almost the same point that I raised at the beginning. They are not sure whether the courses or the program that they graduated from are basically match what is basically needed by the industry, are the skills that taught with a very uncertain future. Yeah. So they are not really sure whether there is always a match, between what they learn and also what is expected from. So these are the worry. These are the concerns. So if you turn that pain into business, yeah. Again, when come to empathize, you can empathize in different ways. You can observe, you can engage, or you can immerse with them. So these are the three, method that you may use. Yeah. The simplest one, just observe. Observe, for example, based on their behavior, based on their appearance, based on their movement, and also engage. Engage means that interact with them, ask them, get their opinion, or even immerse, mingle with them, together with them, if possible, live together with them. And that is also the best form of empathize is immerse. But if we due to constraint, observe and engage is more than enough for you to understand your customer. So perhaps this is something that I'm basically working on this. Maybe it's timely for us to develop this platform or these facilities. How we can prepare a future-proof talent. Definitely that maybe that graduates, if they realize that earlier, maybe like you, for example, you may realize it earlier, for example. Yeah. So rather than experiencing the pain later on, you may realize the pain now, and you work on that. You work on that, and even so maybe maybe timely, for example, I can have this business. Basically a team of my a team of my friends basically developing this. On how to retrain, how to enhance the students, with the talents, with the competency required for the industry, so that we can close the gap. We can close the gap. So this also, you may have another idea, on how to produce this, either to form a business or maybe to improve yourself. Yeah. So that's why I say that, as a design thinker, we think differently. Rather than start blaming, each other, why this and that, start blaming the university, start blaming the lecturers, start blaming here and there, and so on. So why not turn this into opportunity? An opportunity for you to be different, for you to improve yourself. Even in my case, for example, perhaps it's timely, for my team, to develop this business of coaching, for example. Yeah. So if you want to use a design thinking, you start with this. You have to identify the customer or the stakeholders. Yeah. Just like the wallet or purse that you developed just now, you have to identify the segment of the stakeholder, the segment of the customer, because different customers have different needs. So identify them, who they are, uncover what they look like, their life, and I mean, in fact, from their look, we can tell already, on how to fulfill their needs, their lifestyle, what they like, what they love. These are the things that we need to understand before we come up with before we can come up with the solution. By knowing this, we can know their pain, and then, I mean, the solution will be to fulfill their pain. Yeah. So in design thinking, we use a lot of tools. So that's why in the workshop normally, I mean, that's why we need about at least 2 days, in order for us to apply all these tools, because all these tools are basically help, okay, for you to for each step. For example, for the empathize step, we use the persona grid, for example. Why we use the persona grid? To understand the personality of our customer. Yeah? Let's say that you want to come up with that business of coaching, for example. So we have to identify who they are. We call it the 4L. What they look like, what they like, what is their lifestyle, and what they love to have. And let's say that I come up with this, okay? So since majority of the, as I say, public university, I'm talking about, maybe my focus is basically this. I don't know. I might be wrong. So perhaps this. I mean, most of the students are basically female. Coming from a certain state, for example, or certain region. I mean, they may be the focus group that I can focus on, who can represent the entire much bigger segment. Yeah. So I try to understand what are their life, from there, I mean, I will seek their opinion, for example, I mean, their demographic background, where they are from, what they do, for example, how they interact with the social media, and also with their psychographic, what they like to, what are their attitude like, what is their preference, in terms of what they're interested to do, what social media that they interact, and what is the what are the belief system, what is the opinion that uphold, what they want to achieve in life, what are they really admire, who are really they admire of, what type of experience they expect from them. So by knowing what they want, we are in the better position to come up with any product, any solution that can fulfill their needs. On top of persona grid, we also we call it the empathy map. Empathy map also, even we can go deeper, okay, to understand what they feel. If I offer, I mean, what are they feeling? What are their thoughts with regard to the service that I intend to offer? Okay, because at the end of the day, the way they decide is very much influenced by the way they think, the way how they feel, what they hear from their friends, what they see their surrounding, what they do, what they say. So these are the elements that we need to know. So once we know this with regard to the solution that we want to provide, then we can identify what are the pain, and what are the gain and the pain. Yeah, especially on the pain, you focus on the pain. So if they may compare, for example, if there is any other services provided to them, for example, how can make them, what is their opinion with regard to the other product? because that opinion will help us to come up with a better product that can fulfill the pain of them, yeah? The pain of what they suffer. So from this we can get the pain, yeah? From this we can get the pain, right? Again, in design thinking, we take advantage of the pain that we have, yeah? So these are the questions that I ask, for example, yeah? These are the response that I may expect, okay? That I get, for example, for example, what is the ambitions of life? They want to be a successful manager. They have a clear, for example, so we know that they want to be successful in life. They want to hold a high position, not only in any company, but in a multinational company. So by knowing their think and feel, so we can develop the product, we can develop the solution that can fulfill their ambitions. So the program, that any activity that we develop for them, for example, it will help them to fulfill this. Yeah. So these are the questions that I will normally ask, them to get their input, to get their input. Yeah. For example, what is their where do they work, how do they experience, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So basically, these are the whole question is just to understand what they think, what they feel, what they hear, what they do, and what they see. Yeah. Because again, by knowing them, definitely that we're going to have come up with a winning product. Yeah. Okay, so these are the questions that we ask. For example, what they, and again, in your survey, in your research, you get their input. You get their input, and from the input, you write it down. So that you can use that as a point of reference when you develop the business or the product. Yeah? So at the end of the day, you are addressing what they need. As a human, these are the things that they need. They are expecting for self-actualization. They want to be, they want to be successful. And also high esteem. They want to have. They would expect someone to respect them. They like to be liked. They like to be loved, and also they want to ensure all the safety, physiological. So when you develop a solution, you always have this in mind. Okay, this Maslow, even though it was developed almost 100 years ago, but it's still it's still relevant. It's still relevant when you come up with the solution. Okay, another tool that we also use in design thinking is a customer experience map. Okay, something that we ignore in most circumstances is the knowledge about our customer behavior. Yeah, this is among the knowledge. Yeah, these are among. I think we are not leveraged enough on our customer behavior. Yeah, the simple principle is that the deeper you understand your customer, you can easily win their heart. Yeah, but in most circumstances, we ignore this element of their experience. Yeah, because again, when they purchase something, there is an experience throughout that process. When they purchase the wallet, the experience is not only when they purchase the wallet, but the experience even begins when they do the searching. When they do the searching, when they do all those things, until they purchase, and also after sales. So someone who can capture the entire experience, the entire process, you will be much better positioned to fulfill their needs. So this, in fact, if you Google customer experience map, you can also easily get hit of millions, because experience map is getting more popular. It's getting more. I use a lot all this. I use a lot all this in my decision making, in my problem solving, and I found it very, very helpful. Yeah. So again, in the workshop, normally we're going to do it hands on. Yeah. Yeah. So there are many examples. If you browse through, if you Google, you will find many. Because at the end of the day, if we understand their journey, we can fulfill the expectation better. Yeah. All right. So these are I simplified the map. Okay, the experiment into this. Yeah. So if you just follow this, because at the end of the day, from here you can identify the pain point. So from the pain point, you come up with a solution, right? So after empathize, you go to define. Define is basically, to understand, to go deeper on the pain that they suffered. Yeah. Okay. One of the tools that we use in define is basically this point of view statement. One way to help you to understand their pain, yeah, really to define, to really understand their pain is to convert the point of view statement, yeah. You fill up this statement, okay. Graduate need what? Need guidance, okay. Need guidance to his or her future career because what? Because he or she is clueless what awaits in the future. So that means that using this, okay, so these are the pain that they suffered, right? Lack of guidance. Okay, these are the pain that they suffered during the empathize stage. So define, you go deeper. Okay, you go deeper, for example, okay, they need guidance. Why? Because they don't, because they don't know what await them, upon graduation, right? So this also example of point of view, right? Okay, so that's why, from that adjective, this in form of guidance, it is to call it from nouns, yeah. From nouns, this you turn this into verb. Again, during the workshop, we're going to go in detail of this, because one way to ideate, yeah, one way, because the next step is ideate. One way to ideate is to work from the verb, yeah. From the verb, it can help you to come up with more ideas, yeah. Okay, so so that's why in that step, you have to turn the adjective into verb or the nouns into verb. So verbing technique is a powerful technique, for you to ideate, to get more ideas, yeah. So for example, this is the example. Let's say that lack of proper guidance. So this is in the form of nouns or in the form of adjective, and you turn this into verb. Unclear, confused about career path, for example, and you turn this into verb. The verb means that they need clarify. Okay, I mean, we need to clarify, or they need clarify all this, And these are the synonyms that you may use, to clarify. And based on this verb, like clarify, guide, equip, it can help you better to come up with the idea, right? So where is this ideate? Yeah, where's the ideate? Yeah, ideate, and the idea is basically to translate the verb into ideas. Yeah, idea is basically, that's why we call it brain dump or brainstorming. Yeah, you convert the verb into solution. For example, that they need clarify. So definitely they need a proper workshop, or maybe online training, more guidance, for them to read, and maybe a personal coaching, for them to prepare themselves better for their future. Maybe personal mentoring, maybe a website learning, online platform and so on. So these are the solutions. So these are in the form of business that you can create, and use all this, as a mean for you to come up with the ideas. And from there, you develop a prototype. Prototype is a scaled down version as you translate all your ideas into a model. Let's say that you want to produce, you want to produce online training, for example. So you develop, we call it desktop prototype. So online training. So how the landing page look like? What are the menu? What are the windows available? And what are the contents and so on? Then you develop the prototype from the idea. So these are the examples. You may also, if you want to develop an app, for example, for the prototype, so you develop the prototype here, yeah? You basically translate your idea even you can also prototype certain design, for example, right? So these are the examples of, okay, once you reach that prototype, okay, in most circumstances, people have ideas, they just sell. So that's why the failure rate is getting higher and higher. Okay, failure rate, of product and services high in terms of failures. Why that happen? Because they just jump, they just ignore all the full steps. They got the ideas, they come up with a product and sell. That's why again there are many product fail. But by right, before they sell, they should translate the ideas into prototype. From the prototype, they have to test this to the user. Okay, they have to test this to the user, and I think that's why you have to test before, because that's also the power of design thinking. Yeah, the power, we call it the iteration. Yeah, so at test, when you found that your customer may not like it, you can always repeat the process until the customer really happy with the services or product that you develop. So in test stage, you need to fulfill your product and services fulfilling these 4 elements. This 4 element is a must. Yeah, this 4 element is a must. So you cannot ignore all this. No, you cannot ignore all this. All right, and these are the 4 criteria. Because again, anyone can come up with ideas, but all good ideas must fulfill all these 4 criteria before it can be turned into solution. Yeah? All right. So these are the explanation about what does it mean by desirability. Yeah. And also we use a lot of this business canvas. I believe many of you have known this, have encountered this. These are also another instrument that we use to test our idea. Yeah. To test our idea. All right. So now basically that, if you can grasp the basic principles about design thinking, you can call yourself as now you are a design thinker, where someone who think differently, okay, and you are different. You are different because again, especially in Malaysia, we don't have that many people who have this skill. Yeah. Even though I have conducted more than 50 workshop, but again, I don't think that I can cover thousand of them out there. Yeah. So if you have this skill, you are different. And why you are different? Because you think differently. Because design thinking helps you to think differently. Yeah. And this is what the workplace. This is the work. And this is what the employers. This is what they are expected from the future talents. And these are the future talent proof. I think if you have this, you will become always relevant. Okay, don't worry about outpaced or outsmart by the computers, by the digital and so on and so forth, because you have something where the computer can't do that. Because computer cannot think. Only human can think. Only human can think creatively. So if you have this, you are in the advantage. All right. So that's all that I I have in mind, to share with you. Again, that I wish I can do just. I can, explain more, but due to the time constraint, that I not be able to do justice to the topic. But again, as I say that, you can always have the opportunity to learn more about this. Yeah. So perhaps I can open this to any question, to any comment, any remark, a remark that you have. Yeah.
So please, anyone? Okay, let's ask question. Okay, ada satu soalan from Rina Rashada, Prof.
Okay. Yoni.
Design thinking is an excellent approach to innovate. It is grounded in a positive perspective. However, it tends to be overly emphasized and confident on the success rate, especially when the idea is co-designed or created with users. It does not take into consideration other factors, parameters such as progressive, formalities, and cultural acceptance. So, what is your comment on this thought?
Usha ni apun coming from Rina ni ya.
Yeah, Prof.
Rina, design thinking as excellent. Okay, approach. Okay, all right. It tends to be overemphasized and confident on the success rate, especially when the idea is good. Okay. Something you don't think to question of other factors, bureaucracy, formality, culture, acceptance. So that was. Okay. Yeah, very good comment. It's very good comment. So again, when we develop, that's why the essence of this design thinking is at the empathize stage. Empathize is because at the end of the day, any product, any solution that we develop is to fulfill the need of the customer. Okay, the need of the customer. So as long as you can fulfill the need of the customer, other things will come naturally. Because again, so that's why we have to take into consideration of other factors when we develop that product. So of course we have to capture the element of culture. Yeah, we have to. But if we really understand, so that's why if we do the empathize stage in a proper manner, where we understand what they need, that is also part of understanding their culture. So the empathy grid or the empathy map is basically the process for us to understand the culture. Because once we can understand the culture, the product or the services that we produce will naturally fulfill the element of culture. All right. So that's why. And also at the same time, we also need to test on the element of course, the bureaucracy, formality that may fall into the last stage. Maybe at the test stage, that's why at the test stage we use that business model canvas, because inside that business model canvas, it can help us to really do all that testing on the element of bureaucracy, formality, and so on and so forth. Yeah, very interesting question. Yeah, so yeah, thank you for that interesting. Was that response what we call fulfill what you expect, right? Or any other question?
Terima kasih Prof di atas penjelasan yang sangat jelas. Nampaknya ada soalan seterusnya daripada peserta yang sama, Rina Rashada. I have two other questions.
My first question, what is the speed of design thinking from the empathizing stage up to the testing stage? That is, how long does it take? It is because under certain situations, businesses need to respond so that I will not lose the competitive advantage immediately.
Okay, good question. Very good question. I mean, speed is always a time. Speed is always a money. Okay, time always matters. But it's go back on the complexity of the problems. Yeah, that's why to me depends on the complexity of the problem. I have, in my personal experience, I can solve, simple, nature of a question maybe take about half an hour or 1 hour, but sometimes I maybe need one day or 1 week to come up with a solution where the issue is quite complex. But to me, how complex the issue is, that also depends on the degree of research that you have to do. If you have the data in hand, so maybe even how complex the issue is, maybe 1 to 5 days is enough for you to come up with a good decision. But if you lack of data, you need to do research. Sometimes you need at least you need one month to collect the data, because you need more time to collect the data, because the essence of this is basically to understand the need of the what we call the profile of the customer. So that's where you need the time. Yeah.
Terima kasih, Prof. Ada soalan seterusnya daripada peserta? Okey, daripada Rina Rashada, soalan kedua. The comment is, I agree with your point earlier in your talk that we need to stop blaming others and identify how we can make a difference. But has USM applied design thinking in this sense at its faculties, institutes and office? So what's about GSV-USM and HDC? How well has it been accepted by the people there?
Okay. Thank you for the good question. I can speak on behalf of GSB. Yes, at GSB, we use. I at a personal level, I use that a lot at my own level. In fact, when I was the dean, this design thinking, I applied it throughout my decision making, and even to redesign the graduate business school, so that it become competitive, just like Stanford and also Harvard. All right. So that's how I helped to design the graduate business school, and also at the same time, I also start, because again, when it comes to this design thinking, to me, that's why I say it's beyond method. It's not only a technique. It's a paradigm. It's a mindset. So you need the right person who are open enough to the new idea to appreciate this. Yeah. So at the GSB level, I conducted several workshops, to create the awareness and also enhance the skill among our lecturers there. And Alhamdulillah, so far that I can see the fruit. I can see the fruit out of that. But again, to see the impact, it will take time, because at the end of the day, when design thinking, you need the culture. Yeah, you need the culture, and the cultures. It's quite difficult for us to expect the culture to start at the unit or the department level. Yeah, ideally, In fact, for example, that if I could take the example of Apple, for example, design thinking is their culture. You know, I've been to the office of Apple. In fact, before the new HQ was built, and I can see the environment. I can see the culture of design thinking is basically practiced throughout the organization. Even if you look at the new design of their HQ of their HQ now in California, so you can see even how the HQ is designed based on design thinking and the way they work. You know, so that means design thinking is part of them. So that's why we can see all the Apple product is something that, you know, I don't know, I might be biased because I'm the iPhone user and also I'm the Mac user. But even, you know, you know, if you ask the Apple user, I think most likely they're going to be the user of Apple product because, you know, it fulfills the need of the user. So this is the culture they have set, and also you can see that throughout the product. So, but it will take time. Hopefully that, you know, I start with the GSB, and hopefully that it will also transcend, and it will also transcend at the other school, and hopefully that this university, just like at Stanford, for example, where they embrace the design thinking, and that's where they see the user impact. Doa, inshallah. You know, we pray for the best, and I will do my part. You know, I will do my part. You know, to help the university to bring design thinking to the next level, and we're going to see the impact. Just like we witnessed the impact that they have done, you know, at many universities in Stanford, Harvard, MIT, and so on. Yeah.
Okey, terima kasih pada penjelasan sangat jelas ya, Prof. Nampaknya tak ada soalan lagi. Diminta semua peserta untuk memberi maklum malas berkenaan dengan training melalui pautan yang dikongsikan di ruangan chat di training evaluation form. Mohon setiap peserta untuk mengisi evaluation form untuk pihak HDC untuk pihak HDC mengambil untuk pihak HDC mempertingkatkan daripada mempertingkatkan sebab ke arah mempertingkatkan ke latihan yang memberi impak kepada peserta maupun dengan agenda hebat kita di sini. Okey, recording YouTube kita akan kongsi di ruangan YouTube HDC. Peserta boleh dapatkan recording daripada training ini melalui pautan YouTube HDC. Dan terima kasih saya ucapkan kepada semua peserta. Sebelum saya mengakhiri sesi latihan ini,